Yo, this the kid Big Skunky. One issue that I noticed that a lot of people have for experienced gardeners and inexperienced gardeners is watering. Watering can pose an issue. So even experienced gardeners, such as myself, we go through this too, where we tend to overwater or underwater. Now, your plants will demonstrate the same look as if you not watering them. So everybody has seen a plant that has no water. I assume, the plant looks dry, it's drooping all down, it just looks unhealthy, it looks sick. Well, when you overwater, your plants will demonstrate those same characteristics. So it'll droop, it'll hang over, it'll fall over to the side because you're basically drowning the plant. So one of the techniques that I do that I want to, invite you guys to do or try to do or attempt to do or whatever, is underwatering. And what I mean, I probably said that wrong. What I mean by that, I mean like bottom watering. So you can take a cup or a flower pot and sit it inside of a bigger flower pot and put you some rocks at the bottom of it. And you fill the water up just a little bit over those rocks, about, till it touches the bottom of the flower pot that you have the actual plant or flower in, and let the water absorb from the bottom. Now, this may sound crazy to you, but the soil knows exactly how much water it needs to sustain. It works as a sponge, as a wick. So it wicks the water up, it sponges the water, it absorbs the water, and this way you would never overwater your plants. You would never underwater or overwater your plants. Another issue that I'm hearing from people who actually contact me for tips and tricks or techniques or just for the knowledge of growing because they're new to growing and they don't know what to exactly do, is that a lot of people are buying these pots from like Home Depot or Family Dollar, mostly Family Dollar and Dollar Tree stores and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with those stores now. I'm not talking about those stores, but make sure you get a pot that has drainage holes. Make sure that your pot has holes in the bottom of it. Because when you go to water and it does not have any holes at the bottom, the water just sits at the bottom of the pot until the plant is ready to uptake it. So a lot of times the roots, they grow down and they're searching for water. You want your roots to actually search for water. This is what makes them strong. This is what keeps them healthy. This is what makes them thrive, actually, because they're searching for the water. They're searching for nutrients. They're searching for water. If you just pour a lot of water in your pots and the water has no way to escape, then the plant has no need to try to grow because all of the nutrients, all of the water is sitting right there with the roots. So why would it go out and search for any water or food or anything when it's already right there? So this leads to your plants being stagnant. This leads to your plants being stuck and not growing at all. Little to no growth at all. Another thing, if you're starting your plants in the house, like your seeds and things like that, and you're nursing them in the house until it's time for you to plant them outdoors, cut your watering way, way back. Do not water as heavy as you would if you had the plants outdoors. And I'm going to tell you really, really quick, and then I'm going to get up off of here. The reason why is because all of us gardeners, experienced and inexperienced, we're trying to mimic the outdoors indoors. So you're trying to give your plants the environment that they're going to be in outdoors indoors. And when you have your plants indoors, think about it. Your house is cooler, or, if it's hot outside, when it's hot outside, it's cool in your house because you have the air going. When it's cold outside, you have the heat going. So your plants tend to go through all these different climate changes, up and down, fluctuation in heat and air and things like that, which is stressful to the plant. Plants like to be in their environment or whatever environment that you start them out in. That's what they prefer to be in. So when you're in the house nursing your plants and you go to water, the water is not evaporating fast as it would if you had them outdoors, where the wind, the air circulation can kind of dry the top of the pots out or dry the bottom of the pots out, which the more that the pots dry out, the roots tend to stretch and search for water. Goes back to what we was just talking about at first. Um, until you get them outdoors. Now, once you get them outdoors, you kind of gauge them. Now, one thing I like to do is I like to let my pots dry out. Remember, less is always more. So I like to let my pots kind of dry out a little bit until I see the plants almost droopy or just a little bit droopy. Like if I see one or two limbs or branches or leaves or whatever drooping, then I usually do the finger test. That's where you take your index finger and you stick it down to that first line on your finger into the soil. If it feels dry, then most of the time they tell you that that's an indication that you need to water. What I like to do is turn the plant upside down. I push the soil down to make sure that it's packed and compressed. And I'll turn the pot upside down and I'll squeeze around the sides, excuse me, and I'll push on the bottom to get the whole plant to slide out of the pot. That way you can see if it's moist. Because a lot of times what happens is the top of the soil dries out first before the bottom does. Water doesn't go up, it goes down. So you have the water sitting at the bottom of the pot, and it may be moist at the bottom of the pot. So in a lot of cases, you may be overwatering and just don't know it because, again, the plants will demonstrate the same signs as if they were underwatered. Vice versa is overwatering and underwatering, the plants look the exact same way. They'll demonstrate the same signs. So that's just a little helpful tip. I didn't plan to be on here that long, but start popping your plants out of the pots. Don't do it too many times. If you do it, just try not to disturb the roots. So you pop it out, you remove the pot, you look at the roots. If the soil looks moist and damp, then slide the pot back on and let them keep on going. If the soil looks dry, extremely dry, then hey, it's probably time to water, and you take advantage of the bottom watering technique that I just told you guys about. Now you can water from the top, but I don't like to do that, especially in the house, because you'll have those little fungus gnats that'll fly around and lay their eggs within the first 3 inches of the soil. And now you got they look like fruit flies. We call them fruit flies, but they're really fungus gnats, and they just flying around, and they can destroy your plants. They actually attack like the root system of your plants. So look, that's just a little helpful tip from the kid, Big Skunky. You know what I'm saying? Look, go and check your plants, pop them out the pots, see if they moist, see if they need water. Make sure you got drainage holes in the bottom of your pot. And remember, less is always more. And again, I always say this, feed your soil, the soil feeds the plant, and then the plant feeds you. Oh yeah, and you tell them I said that. Hashtag that. Big Skunky. Yes, man.